Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Couch Racing Chronicles. Yes, I have returned. I am back after a couple weeks. I will get to that in a minute. As always, I am AJ, the avid Chris Buescher and Chase Briscoe fan. Of course, I am not alone, though. Let's introduce the squad this week. Gentlemen?
Hi, I am a very depressed and in need of physical therapy Kyle Busch fan named Sonny. It turns out I didn't need to wait till the last lap to have heartbreak. I only got through stage one. I'll explain what happened in a minute, but let's see the rest of the gang.
Woo! Let's go! No toaster bats for me. Hey, what's up, guys? Checker here. We came back from Daytona. I am so happy right now, and I'm back. I am sorry if I was gone last week. I'm back, though, for Daytona just in time, so we got an interesting and probably a very long episode for you folks. So let's get right into the scene. But we got to introduce the rest of our squad.
James here, the resident Suarez, bro. Everything is pain right now for me.
Just
We'll
you?
get to that in a little bit. I mean, my driver doesn't have a ride for next year.
Okay, but I got wrecked.
I'd rather get wrecked and finish second, heartbreakingly.
I got wrecked finishing in the top 10.
At least you got a top 10 again.
Jeez. As always, recording in the background is our lovely dear friend ISO. Channy is here. He unfortunately cannot speak at the moment. He is just here listening to us and is typing in the chat. So we do have a full house technically, but we don't at the same time. Chandler just doesn't even exist anyway, so what difference did it make either way?
Aww.
Damn. Anyways.
He said, he told me F you in the chat. Okay, buddy. I'm gone for a couple weeks, and this is the thanks I get. Okay. Anyways,
No, you're right. Byron fans don't exist.
Yeah, fair enough. So, real quick, before we get into the start of the show, I do want to mention, I apologize, I've been gone for a couple weeks. I did, as Sonny mentioned a couple weeks ago, I did start another job, and I didn't really like it, not gonna lie, so I don't think I'll ever try working two jobs ever again, because personally, I work third shift, and this is already hard enough for me to do as it is, and trying to do two jobs, just, it is not cutting it, so... As of this week, I am back to hosting to the podcast. Let me try that again. As of this week, I am going to start hosting the podcast again. Thank you to Sonny for taking my place over the last couple of weeks. He did a really good job. And you know what? Give this man a raise. Even though he hasn't won a race in nearly a little over 2 years now, he still deserves a raise. So, with that being said, let's get into the podcast. Ooh, Daytona. One of my favorite tracks. We had the Xfinity race on Friday. Connor Zillich and Parker Kligerman, I said both of them, yes. Connor did start the race. Parker took over on lap 13 when the first yellow came out. They both won the race, and Parker actually, unfortunately, was not credited with the win because Connor did start the race, which, I mean, we all kind of saw that coming, let's be fair. And then on Saturday, Checker, gotta shout you out, Ryan Blaney won at Daytona. His advanced auto curse has finally been broken. It was a good weekend overall. We'll get into that part in a second, but let's do a quick weekend recap. Mission failed. That's all I gotta say. No, we had a really good car, and we just came up short, unfortunately. We did get a top 10, but unfortunately, we did get spun out coming to the Checker. And I think we got spun out by the 54, but it is what it is. It's super speedway racing. The car wasn't destroyed, so that's all that matters. But I thought we were going to have a shot to win there, and unfortunately, we got shuffled back a couple times. The pack was going insane when that yellow came out for the 22, and it was just, I don't know. It's just a product of super speedway racing. I'm numb, but at the same time, I should have expected it. But I mean, at least we didn't get involved in the big one. So I mean, it is what it is. But still, plenty of chances left to go win a race this year. So I mean, hell, we could play spoiler at fucking. I'm sorry. We could play spoiler at Talladega. We could play spoiler. You know, Bristol here in a couple weeks. We could play spoiler
The Roval
anywhere.
could be a good place too. Like
The
the place for
Roval,
Busch probably will.
yeah, the Roval's not really been too kind to us over the last couple of years. So I mean, that is true too. But yeah, Busher had a good weekend. Did what he needed to do. Just we weren't there when it mattered most, unfortunately. So, but yeah, let's check in with the rest of the squad. Unfortunately, I'm going to regret doing this, but Sonny, how was your weekend, sir?
If there is one bright side, my heart wasn't broken on the final lap like it was last year. Well, unfortunately, we were not so lucky to avoiding the big one, as we were right underneath Bubba Wallace coming down, while us and Joey Logano were pinched underneath him, and we ultimately got turned into Bubba, and ultimately the car was technically not DNF'd, but we were nowhere near race winning contention, so we were about done for the night. That, I don't know, just losing at this track specifically, knowing this is my home and this is the one I really want to actually see Kyle win at, without his only win being when I was about a baby. It just hurts the most when it comes to that track specifically, but nothing we could really dwell or do about it. We're got to do what we do last year again. Got to try to play spoiler and at the very least just finally break that winless streak at some point. If not last year or this year, then at least somewhere. I'm low-key kind of getting to that desperate point. I really need to see it happen at some point. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, and I'm going to be real. I don't, as much as I want to give Kyle Busch credit, I mean, he's taking a car that is at best 10th, 15th, 20th place on a good weekend. He's overdriving the wheels off of it. There's no doubt about it. But I just, at this point in time, I don't see him getting a win this year. It's just, I want to have hope. I want to have hope for you guys. I just don't see it. Like, maybe if you get lucky at, like, I don't want to say the Roval. Maybe Kansas, maybe Talladega. But other than that, there's a lot of work that needs to be done at RCR. And we've mentioned it in the past, but that was just unfortunate. And there was nothing there was nothing Kyle could really do, right? Because it is super speedway racing. Being a part of the big one is the consequence of the being a part of the big one is a consequence of super speedway racing. So what more could he have done?
Yeah, but even though we had a really bad weekend, I'd argue a couple of others here are probably feeling a bit more devastated.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Actually, James, P2 for Suarez.
Every time P2, you would think I would be happy with P2 with the way the season's gone, but it just hurts even more considering that, because it's just like, look, especially with the playoff format, you guys say someone like Suarez, if he wins, that's the entire season turned around. All that negative, gone. Reset. You've got a chance of something. And to be that close to it, that hurt, man. It really did.
I understand. I truly understand. Because, the crap, Suarez, this is, as much as I hate bringing Darian Gilliam to the mix in this one, this would be considered a bad season for Suarez, if I'm being honest. But I thought he had an impressive run there with Blaney getting through the pack. And the fact that he gained, what was it, like 16, 17 spots in 2 laps?
19th to 2nd is what he went for in 2 laps.
That's impressive. I don't want to I want to give him some credit there where credit is due, because everyone's talking about how Blaney went from 13th to 1st. We'll talk about that obviously later on in the show. I want to give Suarez some credit here too, because James did mention this. Because keep in mind, I was at work when the end of the race happened, so I didn't get a chance to really watch the replay of both Suarez and Blaney going to the front until like Monday or Tuesday. And they were hauling ass. I mean, they didn't really do much. I mean, they basically made the right moves at the right time, and it benefited them big time, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's not over for Suarez. I mean, I think there's still maybe 1 or 2 races he could have a shot to win at. I mean, Vegas for sure, because he's been ungodly good there over the last couple of races. There's a chance he might play spoiler there. I mean, maybe Talladega too, right? So,
My eyes, like I said for Busher earlier, my eyes. Hopefully, he's never been lucky at the Roval. He's always been fast. He's always qualified well.
right.
Too. He qualified well. Was having a great race. Power steering went out.
Mm-hmm.
Free qualified well. Got wrecked by Bell coming onto the oval last year. I don't think he qualified that well last year, but he still had another mechanical problem. Basically, took him out of the race in the playoff. He just doesn't have any luck in the race. He's fast at these road courses, and I think that's like he could say that. I got my maybe even on Darlington this weekend. He could play spoiler. I think he actually finished 15th there spring.
Right, that is true. Another thing I wanted to mention about that too is, I mean, he's going to have a good qualifying order draw too. That's going to help you guys majorly. So you could get like a top 10, top 15 start if everything works out the way it should.
Yeah.
Mr. Checker, how was your weekend with Brad, sir?
Well, Brad-wise, like I said, we came in, had a good car. Just first off, I'm glad that we did not, crash out a big one or cause the big one. That's a plus on that part.
Yeah.
I was nervous. I was like, Brad's gonna be aggressive the next year. Like, oh no, no, but of course, top 20. Of course, not what we wanted. Of course, we were in a must win. I'm a little disappointed, of course, with Brad not making it. Actually, I'm more disappointed. Mostly, all of us RFK cars, because what the actual fuck happened to us? I think at the end, like we just fell off a cliff.
Well, there is an answer for that. Priest actually was leading the last couple of laps, and he got shuffled when all 3 lanes basically changed, and Priest got shuffled to the back, and that's just typical super speedway racing at best. And it is what it is. But it was cool to see Priest actually lead there. It was cool to see all 3 cars. Did Brad lead any laps? I know Busher didn't. Priest led some.
I don't think I'd seen Brad up at the front most of the time. I mean, I did see him I saw him a few times in the front row, but I don't think I've seen him lead anything. Well, actually, maybe he led a few with Cody. I don't know though. I had to
He was behind the 51. Yes.
So yeah, overall, overall good day with I'd say it was okay. Finish with Brad 18th. Like I said, nothing terrible. I wish we could have wish we had more time. Wish we could have had more strategy. But overall, I'd say okay with a 6. But I want to obviously get to the main, the main part of the whole weekend. Holy shit! My first Daytona Cup win. Holy shit! I never for context, I have never won at I've won Daytona, but I've never won a Cup race at Daytona before. So this is a huge moment for me. I'm happy for the 12. Of course, there's a lot of people who are not, of course, happy, who are below the cutoff line. But if you're Alex Bowman, you better have those 7 million beers ready. But that's besides the point. I'm happy about Blaney overall. Coming in, that was impressive. Obviously, we'll talk about it more when we get there. But obviously, one more shout out. Want to give shout out to Allgaier, stage two win. Good for him. Yeah. Okay. So thank you for confirming that. Brad led 0. Okay. So he didn't lead in laps. Gotcha. Thank you. So basically, I'm happy for Allgaier though, stage 2 win, but I'm mostly happy for Connor and Parker and all that. And to be honest with you, I know that Parker, didn't get considered the win, but it's real to me, damn it. But that's besides the weekend for me overall. That was a pretty good Daytona. So yeah.
Yes. So I'm actually really surprised Brad didn't lead any laps. I thought he led at least 1 or 2, but I guess not. So let's move on to, was Daytona a good race? According to Jeff Gluck's poll, about 89% people said it was a good race. And that's kind of a shocker. 2 good weeks back to back on the good race poll. Richmond, obviously, tire fall off, and people just making mistakes. It was a good race. Daytona, this was a different type of plate race with this next gen. I didn't expect a whole lot of people not to save fuel in stage 1. And there really wasn't a whole lot of gridlocking either. I mean, yeah, there was some gridlocking in the beginning, but that was to be expected because everyone was trying to save fuel. But it was genuinely, that was a good plate race. I was pleased because, everyone dreads coming to Daytona and Talladega. This doesn't really happen in Atlanta so much, but I was listening to Door Bumper Clear on Monday, and I'm sorry, that wasn't Door Bumper Clear that said that. That was the Dale Jr. download. That Dale pointed out that Daytona is finally starting to get some age in the track after the repave in 2011. So, Sonny, my question to you is, do you think tires are going to start finally mattering here at I almost said Talladega. Do you think tires are going to finally start mattering here at Daytona?
I think if that's the case, then maybe so. And I don't necessarily think it'd be unwelcome. I mean, let's see the races where actually having a good car and good tires and just overall being a really good master of super speedways and not just have lucky pushes or runs deciding your whole entire season. Let's have those kinds of races back. It'll add a lot more intrigue and a lot more prestige of actually doing what matters most to win here, and overall just bringing back a classic era of super speedway racing like most fans grew up in, going into the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So why not? If that's the case, if tires are going to start mattering, then you know what? Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. I've always liked the factor of, hey, we need to save your tires. Hey, we need to think about tire management here. You don't really see that at plate races very often unless it was really late back in the day. I mean, I could just ask my dad. He could probably tell me. But no, I think this was a different type of Daytona race we've had in the last couple of years, and it was kind of a breath of fresh air. I mean, a lot of guys were getting desperate in stage 1. I mean, understandably so. It's the last race before the playoffs. The other thing I was worried about coming into Daytona was how many big ones we were going to see. And I think we only had maybe 1. Was it 1 or 2?
It was that one big one in stage 1.
Yeah, because I was going to say there was that one, and there was the technically kind of a big one, towards the finish, but yeah.
That's just a product of everyone getting too dicey there when it needed to be. And so, speaking of that caution, do we think Logano brought the caution out on purpose?
I really don't think so. I think that was just a matter of just what was it again? Did he blow a tire, or did he
So
He got spun.
So he got spun by the 17 and he got stuck in the grass.
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. I never heard that before. I never heard that one yet because if on the first perspective when we first looked at the replays, it looked like Logano was trying to do some blocking and then he just got turned and then accidentally went off the bumper of Busher and then
So I looked at the replay beforehand. I might have to look at it again. So what happened was Logano was doing some sketchy blocking. I'm gonna go ahead and say that right here and right now. Buescher I don't really think there was any contact between him and Buescher. I think it was more so Logano got arrow loose when he got to the bumper of the 17 and he just spun out. I mean, no malicious intent there, but my concern about all this was there was talk about how Logano got in the grass on purpose to bring out a yellow, and I don't really think it was that. I think he had the car pretty much in control and just it snapped loose from him again and he got stuck. I think that's the level, the realistic explanation I can give to somebody, but if Sonny wants to put his 2 cents in on that, go ahead.
I would say that sketchy blocking has always been just a part of Joey Logano's super speedway nature, simply because that's just what you see out of him every year on these plate tracks. But I don't necessarily think it was malicious or on purpose, because A, he's never really been the guy to do something to that extreme of intent. Carson Hocevar. And then, even if it were the case, I really don't know who he'd be helping with bringing out a yellow. Unless if it were himself, then yeah, that would slow you down. That would slow the pack down, but you'd still be in the back with like 8 laps to go coming to the green. So you need another wreck to even get back to the front. So would it really help your case that all of your teammates were basically already out? So I don't think this
You're the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think he was doing that to benefit himself, right? So, I think that was more so it was blocking gone wrong, basically. And when he got, like I mentioned, when he got to the 17, it took some air off his spoiler, spun him out. So I don't really think he was trying to bring out a caution on purpose, but that's just me. So another thing I wanted to mention, it was also announced last week that Connor Zilic will be going to the Cup Series with Trackhouse Racing next year. No car number has been announced yet, but I have a speculation, and this is just me, but I sense that what might happen here is Connor might take over the 88, and SVG will probably go to the 99 car, but I have this feeling it'll get renumbered to the 97. So I wanted to bring both James and Sonny into this. How do we feel about Connor going to Cup, first of all?
I'll let James go first. Simply, he's always been the Trackhouse one. His driver is always the Trackhouse.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely deserved. I hate it. I don't feel happy, obviously, that it comes at the expense of Suarez. I can't say he doesn't deserve it, and I can't say I'm not happy for him. I mean, Connor seems like such a great guy, and he's insanely immense talent. And this is one of the terms further around the early 2000s, late 90s, like the next Jeff Gordon. I think he actually fits that bill, really. I really do. He may just be that next Jeff Gordon. And so, can't say he doesn't deserve it. I think Trackhouse stat lineup's going to be strong next year if they can supply good cars for all 3 of them. Shane's going to be great at the road courses, and he's learned the ovals this year. He's probably going to be really good by this time. He's going to be really good in the ovals by this time next year, I'm sure of it. And Connor, he's just dominating the Xfinity Series. And Ross is Ross. I've expected him to win at least one race. So, there's that part of it. So, and he really deserves that. He really does. I'm happy for him.
Sonny?
Pretty much the same sentiment. I remember when he was going to his full-time Xfinity ride, I was a bit worried if he was going to be rushed too quick or if he would be thrown in when he wasn't ready yet. And then he just went on that absolute tear of like 4 out of 6 races he won in like a single streak. So I'm not really concerned about that front anymore. And Trackhouse's nature, they really don't sound like the guys who would rush someone up. They're really the opposite. Like, yeah, it's just the same sentiment. Like, I'm really excited for Connor. We're really about the same age, so he's basically my ideal guy to follow in terms of having a race car driver. So I'm really excited to see what his Cup career brings. And my jokey matter is that without obvious the secret was, you would have thought Christian Bell leaked it during the 500. Anyway.
Y'all never gonna let that go.
Nope, I will not believe another announcement until Bell says it.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's it. Maybe anytime we have a silly season, we just need to have Christopher just come up and just say something like just say a random phrase and just be like, "Oh, whoops."
Okay,
Oh,
Bell's
did I
running
do
down
that?
for it. But Bell's gotta be running down for us, let's be honest.
Yes, it all makes sense now.
That would actually be an amazing plot twist. I would have to make sure that it's on that episode.
Yeah, so real quick, the reason why we're saying this is because Daily Downforce on Twitter has been putting out some serious. Now, keep in mind, that is a parody account of Daily Downforce, and they've been putting out some ridiculous rumors that have unfortunately been very true and have been released before even Jordan Bianchi, Jeff Buck, or even Bob Pockers have even tweeted it. So, look, as much as I tell people I don't really like to believe in Downforce or I take them with a grain of salt, they've been doing a really good job over the last couple of weeks. So,
It's just it's
Phrase
just
I've
like
heard.
yeah. I was gonna
Phrase I've
say,
heard, never wrong, just early.
I was gonna say, Downpour's just like they're like the magician. They're like the magicians. Just like, all right, this is what we're gonna pull off our hat this week, and let's see how people react to this. Let's see how we can start a buzz trend. You know?
yeah, for sure. And then so another thing I wanted to bring up in my notes was we did talk about this briefly, but I want to go ahead and take the time to talk about it. How about Cody Ware leading some laps at Daytona? He led, I think, 27 laps altogether, the most he's ever led in his Cup career. This is kind of huge for Cody, and as much crap as everyone gives Cody, I mean, he's really doing a good job. I mean, I was surprised he even led more than 20 laps, but I thought he was going to have a nice run there at Daytona. What do we think?
If only he won.
Oh, good God. Dude, if he won, Twitter would have melted the frick down.
That's
No,
fortune
that
cookie.
would
That's
have
fortune
been it.
cookie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one right there would have changed the fucking playoff format forever. Right there, right
It would have
there.
banned the playoff. It would have banned the playoff format.
Yeah.
The last car in the charter system gets into the playoffs who was over 500 points out. Yeah, there would be some serious changes. But no, on a serious note, this is big for that team, to actually get a chance to lead some laps, get Cody accustomed to the front and how the pack is working. And Brad was helping him a lot with that too, which that 51 car is, technically an RFK Alliance car. So that was pretty cool to see that, not going to lie. But I don't know. I've always been a huge fan of what's the word I'm looking for here? The underdogs leading laps on plate tracks. The people you don't really get to see who, lead laps. The 43 was leading some laps, but Eric Jones is usually pretty good on the plate tracks. I'm not surprised. Cole Custer, that was cool to see him up front too. Justin Haley, I thought Justin Haley had a good shot to win there if, everyone wasn't getting desperate there on the last lap. But no, man, that was just cool. I mean, I know that doesn't really sound like a big deal. Well, it's kind of a big deal when literally the laughingstock team of the Cup Series is leading laps at Daytona. And I'll tell you what, that paint scheme Cody had was actually pretty cool. I said to myself, if Cody Ware somehow wins this race, I'm going to go order a Jamocha shake from Arby's. But, what's up, Sonny?
If only it could have been.
If only it could have been, yes. So, another thing I wanted to point out, this is actually a very, very notable thing from the Xfinity race. When Harrison Burton spun out, he had a crush panel that came up into the car, and a piece of metal went up his shoulder, and he got fiberglass in his eye?
Yikes, man. Yeah. First off, yikes. First off, we're glad he's okay, but yikes.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny, I don't think I've ever heard anything of this in my life.
It's been a week for me to process this, and honestly, I have nothing in my notes about this. I have literally never seen this happen before in any form of series. The Cup, the Xfinity, this is a first to me.
I've seen some bizarre stuff in my 20 plus years as a NASCAR fan, and that one was a first. I first of all, glad he's okay, because that could have easily poked his eye out easily. But that's a weird one. Like, I didn't have that in my bingo card for 2025, if I'm being honest. But that Xfinity race was wacky to begin with. But it was a good race, though.
I did see.
Huh?
I did see something today. So, sound like Black Flag matters here. Look, I was looking on Wikipedia, just going for the 2000 Cup season. And I saw at Texas, Kyle Petty had to sub mid for Elliott Sadler mid race. Elliott Sadler suffered a blown tire. She caught shoulder pain because the tire came back up and started slapping.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. So the story behind that is Elliott had a flat at Texas, and I think this was in practice or qualifying. The tire carcass shredded into the interior, and it. Oh, that's just Channy. The tire carcass did go through the interior, and it did hit him in the shoulder, and it screwed up his shoulder really bad. So,
and Elliott had like the weirdest things happen to him. What in the world?
Yeah, that one was definitely weird. I think Brett Griffin, who did spot for Elliott back in the day, he did mention about that story on an old episode of DBC. But that one is definitely a weird one for sure. Hang on just a second. Hang on just 1 second. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Take your time.
All right, sorry about that. So I did want to mention something really fast. Before we move on. Fuck, I lost my train of thought. So do you hate when that? Don't you just hate when that happens?
No, that's what
so I did.
All the time.
What checker?
I was gonna say that's a mood though, because like you get to like a certain topic and it's just like, oh wait, what was he saying?
Yeah, what was I gonna say? Huh? What was I gonna say? So the thing I wanted to mention is, it escaped me again. This is what happens when you run only on 4 hours of sleep, people.
I don't think what's going on in Cup Series chat is not helping, but we'll get to that another time.
Yeah.
Am I surprised?
Yeah, no, not really. We will probably discuss that down the line.
So I wanted to mention something about the Xfinity race. This one wasn't in my notes, but I am finally reading what's in the Cup Series chat.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be maybe we'll save that for next episode.
Oh yikes!
But that's the thing. Next week's may have something even juicier though.
Yeah, I will read that momentarily. Anyways, I wanted to mention something about the Xfinity race. Wanted to mention this to Sonny, but Ryan Sieg, what does he need to do to actually finally get a win on one of these tracks?
So I was really pulling for him. Like, I don't think I can express it enough. He was up front. He was like running second, right behind the 88, I think. And then I don't know who it was that got into the back of him, but someone got into the 70. Back. Yeah, the 70 got into the back of him, and then he got loose. And then he got loose, and he wrecked right in front of the field and caused a big one. So, if I look at the playoffs picture for Xfinity right now, he is negative 56. So him winning would have gotten him in. So like, it's just every time I think he's gonna get there, something always comes up, and he has to wait another week. So it's just really crushing. I really want to see him get that win. I know it's gonna happen. I hope it happens somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that one was kind of painful. I've been rooting for Ryan for a very long time. That one was really painful because I finally thought he was going to get it done, and the 70 pretty much caused the big one, and which it is what it is. Welcome back, Shanny. It is what it is, and he's been really he's just been. I don't know, man. It's just I think he's low key starting to turn into the new Michael Waltrip of the Xfinity Series. But I think he'll get a win. We got Talladega in the fall. I think he'll get it done. But yeah, that one was very heartbreaking. He did say in a post race interview with MRN, he's like, maybe I should just go drive for the 88 if I want to go win a race. But no, I mean, it is what it is. That's all I can really say. So, let's talk about the playoffs. Let's talk about the Cup playoffs and all the drivers who made it into the round of 16. So, let me go get my list here. Here it is, right here. So, we have 1 through 16. Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman. So, real quick, I'm going to go through every single one of you guys in here, and I'm going to ask a question. Who do you think your 4 drivers are going to be that are going to get eliminated in the round of 16? I will start with James.
Well, I mean, my first 2 of these are going to be obvious picks. I think Shane and Barry. I think that's nearly. I feel like those 2 are nearly universal.
Okay, so you mentioned Shane. Do you think those 16 playoff points he has is not going to, or the playoff points he already has, and he's already plus 16? Do you think that's not going to be enough for him?
I mean, it could very well be, but the thing is, you don't know. Maybe someone, hey, maybe you get unexpected winner, like who says Bowman can't win one of these tracks, or Austin Dillon can't win, and you immediately have one guy jump up from the bottom of the thing to the top, and if you have a bad race when they win, that's going to be a huge point turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
And even if Shane, it's just now starting to get a little he's starting to get more top 20 runs at ovals. Which right now I don't know if that'll be enough, especially if you get Dillon or Bowman win.
So who are your other 2?
Well, I say Bowman win, which is interesting considering I have him going out in the first round. And then my last one's Logano.
Really?
Logano. Odd number year Logano. It's not even year. He's gonna be not. He won't make championship for. I hope.
Interesting. Well, not surprised, but I have to agree with most of that. Here are my 4 drivers, and I'll explain why in a minute. Let's start with the obvious. I'm going to have to agree with SVG on this one, with James on this one, with SVG. I say SVG, Chastain, Austin Dillon, and Josh Berry. Now, I say Josh Berry, unfortunately, for the sake of he's just, ever since Vegas, he's just not been good. Well, that's not the right thing to say. He's been inconsistent.
Unlucky.
Yes, thank you. He's been inconsistent. He's been unlucky. There's just not really much helping the Wood brothers in this case. They don't have a whole lot of playoff points. They don't really have any stage wins. I mean, yeah, Josh could get lucky, and there's a couple short tracks he could win at, but I don't see him making it past the round of 16. But that's just my honest opinion. Austin Dillon, same case. That was a fluke deal at Richmond, in my opinion. Yes, the car was really fast. Yeah, he won, but he's 28th in points. Well, was 28th in points before the win. So I don't really see much happening there. SVG, same thing as what James said. Yeah, he has plenty of stage, he has like 20-something playoff points, but Darlington's a very difficult track. Yeah, he finished 20th there in the spring, but I don't know, man. I just don't see him making it past the round of 16. And then, who's my other one? Chastain. Chastain, that was my other one. Chastain just had a very off year ever since he won. Well, I mean, he's had a very off year to begin with since before he even won. He won Charlotte, so I don't know. I just don't see it working out for those 4 guys in particular. Sonny, what about you?
I could be an absolute troll and say all 4 Hendrick cars are going to get eliminated in the first round, but I die on Twitter, so I can't do that.
I mean, Hendrick hasn't really been up to par this year, so I could see that.
All right, well, my actual picks. Firstly, Austin Dillon. I know he's supposed to be my teammate, but unless we get some godforsaken speed in our cars, he's getting first rounded. Josh Berry. I really don't want to put Berry out, but the speed just isn't there ever since Vegas. SVG. It's not a matter of he's not horrible at ovals. He's improving on ovals, but this one's just the one bad egg because the round of 12 has the oval for him, and then who says he can't win at Dega and blast into the Final Four? But I don't think he gets lucky in this round. And then Joey Logano, get out. Get out. You're not getting lucky.
Joey's going to be a first round exit?
I hope to God he's a first round exit. I need a palate cleanser after last year.
Yeah, that's fair. Checker, what about you?
In all honesty, the sad part is literally I had everything like scout like okay, I have the best picks ever. Then I hear AJ's picks like fuck, because we have the same fucking picks. So realistically, obviously, we gotta get the first one out of the way, Shane, because it's literally it's Shane Vegasberg on the oval. Come on now. Maybe
he's improving.
He's improving, but I just don't think this. I don't think it's this his time this year. I just don't think it's his time yet. But maybe next year we'll see. Austin Dillon. Well, we know why. Just yeah. Barry, like Sonny mentioned, just not the same speed as before. The last few, sure he's had a few runs, but he's just not, been the same since his Vegas win overall. Like I said, I hate doing that to Barry because he's doing very well in the 21, but I just don't think he's going to make it up to the round of 12. And then finally, I was literally in the discussion last night because I was watching Door Bumper Clear, I was watching Junior Download, and I was watching all that, and I was like look at the tier list. I was looking over a list. I was like, it was going to be either between Cindric or Chastain, but my heart was telling me more Chastain overall as my final pick because I think Ross overall. I don't get me wrong, he's good. Ross has found his speed, but I just don't think Ross is going to make it up, on time. There's a lot of tracks that are going to be such a pain in the ass to work with, especially like what do we have? Like what we have? Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol. So I just don't know. I just don't know if Chastain's going to make it overall. I just think I'd rather trust Cindric a little more, make it to the round 12 than Chastain. But overall, those are my 4 to be eliminated out of the round 16.
So, Chaney, to keep up with you up to speed, we're talking about the playoffs. Who do we think are first? We're in the round of 16 in the playoffs. It's the first round. We're talking about who we think personally are going to be the first 4 drivers who are going to be eliminated to catch you up to speed. So my thing is, I agree with Chastain. The thing I want to mention about Chastain is Trackhouse as a whole has been really off this year, and which is unfortunate, but it's clear as day there needs to be some work done. And with with Suarez leaving, that doesn't really make things a whole lot better for the organization, in my opinion. But yeah, Shane's been really good on road courses. That's not because of speed. That's because of talent. Maybe speed has a factor in that too, but that's just my personal opinion. But as far as their oval performances this year, they've not been that great. So it is what it is. But I wanted to see if Channing would want to put his input down, but I think he's having a hard time deciding who he wants to pick for his round of 16 eliminations.
I was gonna say because I tagged him up on the list if he wants to look at him. If you want to take a look at him,
but here's some here's some notable names that I have This was my alternate take. I could be a total Chad or a total troll for doing this, but in the round of 16, I originally picked to have, like Sonny mentioned, all 4 of the Hendrick cars to be eliminated. But if you really think about it, Chase could potentially point his way into the round of 12. And because he's been just very consistent this year. 1 second. Yes, Channing, we're talking about 4 drivers. Hold on a second, James. Channing, we're talking about 4 drivers that you think would be eliminated in the round at the end of the round of 16. What were we saying, James?
You're talking about Elliott, right? That's what you meant, Chase?
Yes, Chase Elliott.
That's the thing. I have him out in my predictions. I have him out around the 8. I definitely, it is one of those things, I hate to say it, but I could see him getting knocked out here in the round of 16. Because you saw that 9 team just falter and fall away at the end of the regular season. I mean, Richmond was none of their fault. Absolutely none of their fault. They got wrecked out.
That was our fault today.
Watkins Glen, terrible run at Watkins Glen. You know, just bad calls from Gustafson, whatever it be. They really threw that regular season championship away. I think. And there's a real possibility he gets eliminated around 16. I think.
See, I disagree with that. I mean, I can see where you're coming from on this, and that is very true because they've been very inconsistent. Oh, what did Channing say? He said Barry, Dylan, Cindric, and Logano. Well, I'll get to that in a minute. As far as the point about Chase Elliott being eliminated in the round of 16, I could see that being a possibility, but I kind of disagree with that as well because, look, I'm sorry, I almost said Logano. For a good chunk of the year, if you really want to think about it, right? Yeah, some bad pit calls and some mistakes on pit road have really cost him some wins or a shot at a good day. But I really think if Chase continues what he's doing here, he could have a deep playoff run. Do I think he's going to have to win at some point? Yes. And I could very well see it happen at, I don't know. I could see it at Bristol, maybe. Bristol's not really been one of his better tracks, but I think he could have a shot to win at Dega as well. I mean, that's the problem with Talladega is anybody could win. So, real quick, before we get into the green flag, red flag, I want to analyze Channing's picks for a minute to pick on him a little bit. No, I'm just kidding. As he mentioned, Barry, Cindric, and Logano. Barry and Cindric... Barry and Austin Dillon, those two, not surprised. Cindric and Logano, though, those two kind of stick out to me. Well, Joey's been kind of having an off year, too. I mean, it is an odd year after all, which I don't believe that's a thing, but history has shown that Logano is horrible in odd years. Cindric, I wanted to point this out. And I feel like Sonny could agree with me here. Cindric is actually, I mean, yeah, he's not having the best year in the world, but he's also been doing fairly well, too. He's been somewhat consistent on some of the mile and a half. He's been fairly consistent on the plate tracks. It's just, he's been on the bad receiving end on the plate tracks because he's wrecked. He wrecked at Atlanta, and he wrecked at both Atlanta races, and he wrecked at Daytona. So my question to Sonny is there a chance he could win at Gateway again if the cards fall right into his place?
Cindric is a weird case for me because, like you mentioned, he is in this gray void where he's not front race winning consistent, but he also does just enough to not get eliminated in the first round. So he's in this like gray area for me that I just don't. For that reason, I don't see him get eliminated right away. I think he'll sneak past a round or two, but in terms of winning Gateway, obviously Penske and the Fords, they have a lot of great speed there. Logano and Cindric have won 2 out of 3. of the gateway races. So honestly, if the cards fall right again, I mean, they did for Dylan in Richmond this year. If he gets the right car and he puts the right speed, gets hot at the right time, then we might have a playoff dark horse.
Yeah, I agree. Cindric is, excuse me. Sorry, my throat got dry. Cindric might actually, if all goes according to plan, I could see him making it potentially to the round of 8. That's just me though. I don't see him being a championship 4 contender for sure, but I don't know, man. I just sense something in the air. He might have a deep playoff run. All right, so that was totally a mouthful. I know that I feel bad for poor ISO over there. So, with that being said, do we want to get into the green flag, red flag, gentlemen?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, so since Channy is not unable to speak, I will take over for green flag, red flag this week. So, let's get started. First topic. Ryan Blaney goes from 13th to 1st in the final 2 laps of the Coke Zero Show. Let's try that again. Ryan Blaney goes from 13th to 1st in the final 2 laps of the Coke Zero Sugar 400. This is the first time a driver has done such a feat since Dale Earnhardt Jr. went from 6th to 1st in the Pepsi 400 at Daytona in 2001. Green flag, red flag, James.
Green flag, and I have very good reason for it. Yes, I'm upset that Blaney beat Suarez out, and Suarez is charged up for the field behind him. It's not going to be talked about at all because of that. A green flag because that was a natural finish that occurred to play out. It wasn't, Talladega grid block 2x2. It was 3 lanes, all working, going forwards, people making moves to get up there to the win. That's one of the best things about super speedway racing is 3 wide, people moving, going forwards and backwards. It's awesome to see that again.
Absolutely. So my question to you, James, is do you think Blaney's going to have to start thanking the hell out of Cole Custer and Daniel Suarez for helping him get to the front?
Oh yeah, I would like to. I like for Suarez to get the credit for a Blaney win because obviously, and obviously Blaney wasn't going to go anywhere if he didn't have a strong car underneath him, because if he doesn't have a strong car underneath him, that line stalls out. So you got to say that, but you're not going forwards without pushers. That's the nature of these races. So obviously, I think Suarez, and furthermore, Eric Jones, who's behind Suarez, deserves some of the credit as well for pushing that line forwards.
Yeah, of course. I agree with that too, because Eric Jones was doing a really good job, and unfortunately, he did get shuffled back. Me personally, I'm green flag. No new winner, which that's great. Blaney has not really had the best luck on super speedways over the last couple of races, and he didn't really do anything. As everyone wants to think, oh, he pulled a golden horseshoe out of his ass. No, he really didn't do anything. He just got lucky and was in the right lanes at the right time, and it was impressive to see that. But no new winner. A Ford won. I'm cool with that. I mean, what more do you want here? I mean, that finish was awesome. I think we were 4x4 coming to the checker, and I don't know, man. It's just I'm just happy with the way that played out. I mean, that couldn't have played out any better than I wanted it to. So I'm green flag. Sonny?
That should have been us. Okay, I'm done. Green flag. This kind of ties into what I was talking about earlier. Just knowing how to master the plate tracks and when to make your moves. And Blaney did just that. He got into the right lanes, moved up really good amount of spots in a really limited amount of time, which in these playoffs where 1 point can decide everything, that win could give Blaney a shot at another title. It could get him into the Final Four. So you never know how far these little moments of time can play out in a season. So I'm green flag on that.
Yeah, so my question is, what do you think would have happened if Blaney didn't see the run coming from the 99 and the 43 and the 41 too? Do you think he would have just been in a sit and duck in that situation if he didn't, make the right moves at the right time? Do you think he would have gotten shuffled back?
Honestly, if that were the case, then maybe instead of Bowman or Reddick, we see like Haley or Suarez or Custer in the playoff picture. Yeah, that's
Hell,
really
even
what would
Buescher
happen.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm just glad a fourth one. Yeah, that's gonna sound kind of off coming from me, but I mean it's Daytona. I mean, it would have been cool to see Cole Custer win. It would have been cool. It would have been cool to see an underdog win, but a new winner would have really shaken up the playoffs, and we would have likely had our first round exit. But nah, Ryan Blaney won on a plate track. Oh, he broke the advanced auto curse, by the way. Checker, green flag, red flag.
Yeah. Sorry, but you probably called me out first while I was away. But
Actually, no, I went to James first.
oh, okay. My bad. So obviously I'm green flag because this is a awesome moment. This was actually a pretty badass, like ender. Because what was it like? What was it like? I know like the ending was like what, a photo finish at the end. It was like a photo.
No. They were basically 3x4 coming to the checker, basically.
Yeah. Pretty cool photo though. I got this on Twitter. Obviously it's gonna be shown in the thumbnail, which you're all gonna be seeing when Friday comes out. But besides the point, I think overall it was a great moment for great. It was actually pretty cool to see Blaney, go and do this. Like from jumping up from 13 to first, that is a massive leap. That was kind of like holy shit. I was kind of nervous. I was like, oh no, because I saw him. I was like, oh no. But then I was like, okay. I was like, Cole Custer was going to get to us, more faster, but nah. Well, I was more kind of worried about, Suarez, all that coming up on us and then causing some kind of chain reaction. But if this is why I say Blaney is a talented person on these plate tracks and super speedways because he's getting better each time, and I think that this just proves it right here. And the feat of it is actually pretty awesome overall. So I'm happy either way with the result. I'm just glad we did not actually, hit the wall and like head first. Thank God. On, the last few races we've done. But yeah, green flag.
Yeah, so I wanted to touch on that real quick before we get to the next topic. Here is the fate of Ryan Blaney on super speedways. He gets collected in the big one and usually crashes, or he wins. So either or, I'm happy either way. I'm just glad he didn't wreck and hit the wall again. But that's just me. All right, next topic. Kaulig Racing is the first confirmed truck team to have manufacturer support from Dodge Ram in 2026. No drivers have been announced yet, but I did hear some rumblings about Butterbean being one of them, and the other one being, I think the other one was Daniel Dye, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, there we go.
It was Daniel.
So, green flag, red flag on this, Sonny.
I'm going yellow flag, and I'll explain why. I'm green flag for the fact that Ram has their flagship team now. Like Kaulig is going to be the one carrying them over, and you'll get to perform how they do, how they run, and if other teams like what they see, then maybe they consider making the switch over to Ram. But what I'm worried about is that Kaulig is now going to have 3 series to focus on all at the same time. There's going to be their Cup team, their Xfinity team, and their truck team. So I'm concerned that how are they going to use all their resources to make sure every one of them is performing well? Because when they were just an Xfinity team, they were rising up. They were a front runner. They were a front running team, and about all 3 of their guys won. And then, kind of when they made their Cup team known, they kind of had a noticeable fall off. But then it's now more recently that they're kind of ass. So. Excuse me, I burped. I'm just a bit worried. Like 5 trucks already in year 1. That seems like a handful, but if you do what you do and it works out, then great. But I'm just trying to see if they're trying not to bite off more than what if they're trying to bite off more than they get you with this. But I'm hoping for the best for them. So that's my opinion. Yellow flag.
So I wanted to touch up on this before I let the next person go. From the sounds of it, they're going to be hiring some more people to focus on this truck program because it's going to take a lot of people with 5 trucks, like Sonny mentioned. But I think they're also going to be downsizing their Xfinity program at the expense of this truck team, which, I mean, that's reasonable. But my question is, how do we I know there's going to be some manufacturer support from Ram. That is clear as day. My question, though, is how is that team going to perform coming out swinging at Daytona in February? Do we think they're going to be successful? Because we might have a case of what Toyota went through in their first year with Xfinity and Cup. They might have their. I feel like there's going to be some growing pains. Do we not agree?
I think so.
Well, fair enough. James?
I'm green flag on this. It's cool to see Ram back. I wasn't really alive back in mid 2000s when they came into when they were in the truck series and stuff originally. I mean, most of my early memories NASCAR from 2011 and stuff, and I don't remember really much. The only thing I really remember from that period of the truck series is when Kyle Busch intentionally wrecked Ron Horner Day at Texas. So it's like, I mean, I never really got to see Ram race and truck. I think it's cool. Was extremely shocked to see that there's going to be 5 full-time trucks, not drivers, trucks. I mean, that's a lot. But I mean, if this means we could get Dodge back in the Cup Series in the near future, which I think that's what that's going to mean, probably with Kaulig being there, then so be it. I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I think that was a little bizarre too. 5 full-time trucks in their first year. My question is, where are they going to get the charters for this? Are they going to be buying charters? Are they going to be buying the 2311 and front row charters because of this now? Like, where are we getting the charters for this, and where's the money coming in? But no, Chris Rice is a very successful businessman, and I'm green flag. You know, I mean, cool to see Ram back in the sport, Dodge back in the sport. We said this a while back, but my question is, who are they going to get? Like, they can't. You can't have a Chevy Cup driver in a Dodge truck for contract reasons. You're breaching your manufacturer contract. So who are they going to put in these trucks? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm green, but I'm also yellow flag on this too. Like, I'm just really confused on who they're going to put in these trucks because I don't know. It's just this seems like a weird situation to me, but it's cool that they're the first team to be confirmed. It's just this is really messy. Well, I don't want to say messy, but who are they going to put in these trucks? Like, Butterbean, that would be a good idea. You know, I almost said Brendan McQueen. Brendan Queen is a very good short track racer, and he's been doing really good in ARCA, so this might be a good opportunity for him. But aside from him, I don't really see anyone else that I could really think of, unless we want to put Natalie Decker in the truck. But hey, what do I know?
I think Daiwi gets it.
I'm kind of against that idea personally because
I
I'm not
have
saying
a vision.
Oh no!
Die 43 Dodge.
Oh,
Remember, he drove that 43 truck for McNally. Bring that back on the Ram.
oh yeah. Well, what's this? STP's coming back to the truck series. Anyways, Checker, did you want to say something on this?
You guys literally just took the whole, basically you just summed it all up. But the question is, why the fuck do we need 5 trucks? Why not 4? Why not 3? Why do we need 5?
5 isn't enough anymore.
Let's say, why the fuck do we need 5 different? Like, what was it? Like, what is the Hold on. How do we get 5 trucks? I get, there's no way that all 4 of them could be full times. There's no goddamn way all 4 could be full time trucks. Plus, have a part. Obviously, I think they said one of them was supposed to be like an all-star, like a project. I don't know if it's like a project anywhere. They said it's an all-star truck. I'm like, what do you mean it's an all-star truck? Like, what are we doing here?
That truck would basically be reserved for the Cup guys or the Xfinity guys.
Okay.
Kaulig Racing, if you need, Kaulig Racing, if you ever want my resume, hit me up.
I have the vision. We're putting. No, I'm just kidding. I should no. Because yeah.
Sorry, my iPad.
No, I don't know. I think. I'm just I'm kind of in the middle. Some yellow. It's a good idea, but it's also kind of a bad idea. It's not bad. It's more so what the f are they doing basically. I was originally thinking, oh, it's gonna be Thor Sport Kaulig. I'm like, are you actually serious? Are you serious? We're doing Kaulig.
Nah, I don't think Thor Sport's really going anywhere with Ford. I think they have a good relationship with them. But then again, Thor Sport is known for changing teams in an instant, so I might eat those words eventually.
I was gonna say, at least they're not like Nice Motorsports and Fire to Drive mid-season. Anyways,
Well,
so,
okay. Okay, real quick, I want to touch about that. I don't really think that was a Nice decision. That was a Chevy decision.
Still, though, yeah, kind of shitty. But but yeah, I really have no words except yellow flag. I don't know what I'd like to basically see what the lineup is going to be next year to get a grasp on. I'd like to see how the offseason is going to be and see what we're going to do to get a full answer. But to put a short yellow flag, that's all I can say.
All right, fair enough. Next topic. Junior Motorsports secures a 1-2-3 finish in Friday's Xfinity race with Parker Kligerman winning, Justin Allgaier finishing second, Sammy Smith finishing third, and Carson Kvapil finished 10th. So all cars finished in the top 10. Green flag, red flag, checker.
Let's just go out now. Okay, so Sammy Smith finished first in first stage. Well, actually, yeah, first stage. Then it was Allgaier in second stage, and then, like I said, we had Connor technically in the race for the first part. Then the first caution happened. Then we switched with Parker because obviously we don't want to, risk Connor getting injured again in like a big one or something. So let's get out of the car. But then Parker, man, oh my God, Parker literally just took off on like the last few laps, and I was just like, holy shit, we were all coming as a union to let Parker Kligerman win a race together. But I just don't know. I wish, obviously had for Carson as well for 10th, but I wish Carson had more luck in that one car. I just wish he had more consistency, but you know what? You can't really judge, but obviously a green flag on the situation. Well, green flag on this topic because, like, it's an awesome moment for, Junior Motorsports and obviously for Connor. Obviously, I don't think this counts as. I think they said that this does not count as playoff points this race because he switched with Parker. So he did get the win technically, but did not get playoff points. But
no,
overall,
Connor was credited with the playoff points.
Oh, okay. So either way, in my book, it's an overall great day for JRM. Awesome ride for all of the cars, and overall good day. So green flag.
Yeah, I'm green flag. This was a really good performance out of JRM, and they've been killing it this year, no doubt about it. The 88 is definitely one of the hot rides in the Xfinity series right now, without a doubt. I think it was smart for Connor to get out of the car under the first yellow because I know he may be recovering from that broken collarbone, but there's no need to injure yourself more than you need to, getting yourself potentially involved in another wreck or potentially a flip. So it's a really smart choice to let him start the race.
I was gonna say. Oh, sorry. I was gonna ask you a question actually. With the consistency of obviously this could be a question for everybody else as well, but I just want to ask you ahead of time, like, with the consistency of JRM, what they're doing right now, especially with Connor, Allgaier, and Sammy, like, do you think there's chances that JRM can march into the playoffs a little bit more and show more dominance, going into the next few weeks, going to the playoffs, or what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Because look at Connor, first of all. Connor has over 30 playoff points. Yes, I said that correct. He has like 30, 35 or 36 playoff points. If this dude somehow gets eliminated from the round of 8 or the round of 12 and the round of 8, I would be genuinely shocked. Like, the most dominant car of the year gets eliminated. We might see a case of deja vu of Kevin Harvick in 2020. And as the rest of the JRM cars go, I really would not be surprised if all four, the final four, is all JRM cars, if I'm being real. But
that would be like the most. Yeah, basically Carson, would have to turn it up, but I think he had to, obviously make some improvements. I actually hope they keep him next year, obviously, in the one, but we'll see. Obviously, we don't know who's filling in for Connor in the 88 next year, but yeah, that's besides the point.
Yeah, so to answer Checker's point, I want to mention that I know Connor and Justin are definitely going to be some serious contenders in the playoffs for Xfinity this year. Justin, last year's champion. Justin's had a good year. I don't want to discount that by any means. And we got a couple good tracks that Justin has been very good at over the last handful of years. So those two especially. I don't know about Sammy. Sammy's had a good year, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm questioning that one very hard. If you want my honest opinion, this is my Xfinity Final Four. I know I'm delusional for this. I think it'll be Connor Zilich, Justin Allgaier, Brandon Jones, Sam Mayer. That's my Xfinity Final Four. Crazy, I know, but that's just a complete shot in the dark before the Xfinity playoffs even start. So, but as far as this goes, I'm green flag. Who shouldn't it be? Who would it be? Sonny?
You pretty much said it. A very statement night for junior motorsports. Everyone got top 10. Lots of momentum moving forward. They've been out and about the best team in the series right now. So I wouldn't be surprised. The majority of them made the Final Four. So since you shared your Final Four, I'll share mine for Xfinity. I'm going Zilich, Allgaier, Mayer, and Jesse Love. Yes, I think Jesse Love is going to make it over dipshit McGee Hill.
Well, okay. Let me touch on that for a second before you finish. Austin Hill, if he had not gotten right or suspended because of what happened in Indy, I could see him as a Final Four contender, but you have no playoff points. You can't earn any playoff points, so I can't see that happening. Continue.
But yeah, that's really just about it. I just don't see anyone beating this team throughout the playoffs. Unless you turn hot a really good time deep in the playoffs, it's really going to be between Zilich and Allgaier and maybe someone else, just whoever gets hot at the right time. So, but overall, in terms of this topic, I'm green flag.
James?
I'm green flag. Green flag at everything except the fact that I love underdogs, and I hate the fact that they had to take Ryan Ellis out of the top 10 for Carson Crawford to get 10th. That would have been cool to see Ellis get top 10. But no, I love JRM. I really love them. I've been to their shop plenty of times. Great people. Great, it's Junior. How can you hate him? And that's one of those things. It's like I can't not be happy, especially if Kligerman. It's great to see him. Get that. And my Xfinity Championship 4 right now. You got to put Zilich in there. You got to put Allgaier in there. Easily. And I think Mayer is a smart fair choice because Mayer's right in that regular season title battle with them, despite only having one win.
Yeah, and having that win definitely helped him with the regular season standings. Now, my question is, who would be solid? Who do you think would get in the last spot on points?
I've got my mind. It's either going to be, I think, Jesse Love or Brandon Jones. One of those two.
Are you saying that because you're just being the Brandon Jones fan? You're being a delusional?
Well, a little bit, but also at the same time, he's not been terrible. He's been that kind of right there driver this year.
Right, I agree.
He had a stretch where he got a bunch of stage points on a few stages. He's got some playoff points, so it's like he's definitely making around the bay. I think you can't rule him out at Martinsville.
mentioning that, if Ty Gibbs had not taken him out in 22, I think Brandon Jones would have made it to the Final Four that year. I think it would have.
Oh, he's gonna win that race. He would have won that race. He made it. Yeah.
Easily. He should have won. I definitely agree with that. But I'm worried for Brand. I was kind of hesitant on wanting Brandon Jones in the Final Four because he has this tendency to be good this stretch of the season and then he just falls apart or just has the worst luck in God's green existence. So I can see why you say that, but I just don't think Jesse. I like to agree with Sonny on a lot of things, but I disagree with Jesse Love. Jesse Love has been good this year. Don't get me wrong, but RCR, man, even their Xfinity program's just not been good.
It's a matter of figuring out who that last guy is going to be.
Well, we'll see here in the next coming weeks. All right, next topic. This one was an interesting one, and I saw this on Twitter. Jeff Burton said on the NBC broadcast on Saturday, "You have to make the playoffs to be a successful year." Red flag. This is a very bad take. I disagree with this 100%. Look at Chris Buescher, for example. Only one DNF, has a crap ton of top 10s, a few top 5s, but has been very consistent for the most part of the year. Yeah, the finishes don't show up to it, but this is a very bad take. I disagree. I 1000% disagree with this. Look at Chase Elliott. I mean, there's a lot of drivers you could look at who haven't really been showing a great year, even if they miss the playoffs. You're basically discounting a driver's year, even if they don't make the playoffs. I don't see where he's coming from on this. I disagree. I'm sorry. Sonny, did you want to chime in on this?
But before I go on with this, if we're going to be using this logic, then I'm going to provide a counter argument. Is Austin Dillon's season magically a good season all because he's in the playoffs, even though he's had like 30 points all year?
No.
That's what I thought. So every week I grow more and more exasperated with the playoffs and playoff this, playoff that, playoff everywhere, playoff on the map, playoff on the wall, playoff the shut the hell up! I don't want playoffs. I don't like it anymore. Oh my god. Okay. Well, I'm gonna add on to the Buescher example and just say all 3 RFK cars. All 3 of them should have. Even Brad for the shitty start of the season he had, he was really starting to get things right. He was climbing. He was soaring back up through the standings. All 3 RFK cars. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say Brad went from like 33rd up to what now? Like 22nd in points?
He was like 19th at one point.
Still, that's crazy.
Yeah. So all 3 RFK cars who really have had chances for all 3 of them to win races, and none of them are in the playoffs. And that's insulting.
All because of Austin Dillon's win.
Yep. It's always Austin Dillon's fault.
Well, no, I don't. Well, to your point, though, RFK has had a really up and down year, yes, but I feel like if Austin Dillon never won at Richmond, Buescher could have easily pointed his way in if something were to happen to Reddick or Bowman, right? So, but I don't know, man. I really don't. And I feel like I cut you off. I'm really sorry if I did, but did you want to continue?
No, fine. It's like there are so many drivers that you can make an argument that even though we've had struggles, like they're not having bad years either. Like Brad Keselowski had a bad start to the year. He turned it around. Ty Gibbs had a bad start to the year. He turned it around. Kyle Busch. Actually, no, we've been about the same. I don't think having a good year. AJ Allmendinger carrying Kaulig. That alone should be a playoff spot. The Spire cars, the Legacy. I don't know. It's just It's really it feels like to me that if you didn't do this, then your season was a failure. In which I argue that some of these guys that are in the playoffs, some of them I don't think deserve to have a berth simply because their performance all year doesn't make up for one lucky day. But massive red flag for me.
Checker?
So basically, well, obviously, red flag because why? Just why? Why do we need to make this statement? Like, why do we have to, like, go in and basically say, oh, if you're a playoff contender, it's gonna be you're gonna have a very successful year and all that shit. It's just like, it doesn't have to, you don't have to, like, be in the playoffs and have a successful year. You can literally have, like, the most underrated, year and actually be successful. Even if you get a win out of the playoffs, I'd say that's successful right there. Just feel accomplished. Let's take, let's just say Kyle Busch. Let's just say Kyle Busch, wins a race, during the playoffs, but it's not in the playoffs. I'd say overall that's a successful year in some fans' books. If you're Sunny,
True that.
But which is like, let me throw out another one. If you're Chris Buescher and you basically win, let's just say you win a race. Let's say, for example, what if he wins a Gateway or like Darlington or Bristol? Would you say, considering that you're not in the playoffs, would you say that's a successful year? That even though you're not in the playoffs, you got to win though.
Yeah, because he's been close.
So, do you see the consistency though? You don't have to obviously go in and fucking, basically have to be in the playoffs and have a successful year. It doesn't have to be all the time. You can literally have top 10, top 5s. You can be consistent all the time. It doesn't have to be just playoffs or, wins. If you're having a good day, have a good day. I'd say if you're up there, no matter what point standing you are, if you're Brad or anybody, if you're having a good day or just, having consistency over, the last few, races, even if you win during the playoffs, that you're not a playoff driver, I'd say that's successful overall. Like I said, I get tired of listening to this, bullshit of, you basically have to be in the playoffs, to have a successful year. Like, no, you don't really need to. You can literally be out of the playoffs and have like one of the best times, have a successful year. You can literally be eliminated from the playoffs, like the round 16 or round 12, and you should still be successful. It doesn't matter what you go through. If you're having a good season, in my personal take, if you're having a good season and you're successful, I'd say overall, that's a good point. That's a good standing in my book. So overall, these playoffs are just, ridiculous when it comes to basically crowning who's the most successful. Like, no. Anybody can be successful in this series, no matter what series it is. It could be, obviously, Cup, Xfinity, or Trucks, or even ARCA. Yes, ARCA. Besides that, just overall, don't need to, basically be in the playoffs. You can literally win or have top 10s. Just have a good day. That's in my book. But, yeah, red flag. I yap too much. But I just get tired of listening to this, bullshit.
James?
I want to play devil's advocate here. Point out, I think because of the playoff system, Jeff Burton is right. In a sense, he turned it because, like I said earlier, like someone like Suarez went to Daytona, or Justin Haley, or Cole Custer, terrible season. Well, they just turned it around, and you go out and you go out and make something of it. I mean, it's not that bad year anymore because you won and you turn around basically because of that. It's one of those things. That is the result of the playoff system, that you have that outlook. That outlook is true because of the playoff system. It didn't used to be that way beforehand. Now it's like, oh, you got to win. If you don't make the playoffs, what was nearly the point of the entire season then? Kind of look at it, which I don't like. I do not like that. I absolutely don't like it. But that's just the outlook I think everyone has right now, within the industry at least.
Yeah, I can see that, but at the same time, though, I don't really think making the playoffs can really define a whole season, though. That's what I'm seeing out of this. I do understand the counter argument and playing devil's advocate here, which I'm all for people playing devil's advocate, but that doesn't necessarily define a whole season. Even after the playoffs have just started, you could still go out and play spoiler and win the next couple of races, right? So I understand that, but I don't know. I just feel like that was a ridiculous take, in my opinion. All right, last topic. Joey Hand will be making his Xfinity Series debut at Portland on Saturday, driving for RSS Racing, driving the number 28 car. This will be his first NASCAR start since he drove the 60 car for RFK at Chicago last summer. Green flag, red flag, checker.
Well, guys, we could give him a hand. Okay, I'll stop. That's a Corey. I know. No, for real though, green flag. Actually, no, fucking checker flag. I'm full support of Joey Hand being back. He had an amazing performance. Actually, you remember so well. He won stage 2? In Chicago last? Yeah. He had a great time at the 60 last year for Chicago, and I'm overall happy to see Joey Hand get another chance, another crack at a road course here at Portland. And overall, I'm in full support. I'm curious to see how he's going to do in the 28 at Portland. Maybe, I'm going to say maybe consistent, maybe top 15, maybe best. But overall, checkered flag. I'm full support on it. Awesome, moment for Joey Hand. He's an awesome, road reader, kind of. But I'm kind of curious to see how he does, in the Xfinity Series. So good luck to him, Saturday.
Yeah, I'm green flag on this. I like Joey Hand a lot. I think he's a really successful road racer, and I feel like he deserves more chances at NASCAR when he can get it. I really think I would argue with Checker on this one, but I feel like experience can go a long way in an underfunded car. I feel like he could take that 28 and maybe get a top 10 or a top 5 out of it if everything plays right. So I'm really happy for Joey. I really wish he would make some more starts. I would like to see, this is going to sound really crazy, but I have this hunch he might go drive the 66 at the Roval. The Cup car. Talking about the Cup car. But other than that, good for him. He deserves a big break. He deserves a shot like this. What more do you want here? Sonny?
I'm green flag. I mean, this 28 car in particular has not had much success as the 39 has. Like, no disrespect to Kyle Sieg. I think he's for what the car is and what the team can do, he does what he needs. He does what he can, and I think that's what should matter the most. But obviously, I think this is a real fun time to see what a road course guy like Joey Hand can do in basically the same equipment Ryan Sieg has, and like, can you tread it into something very notable and impacting? Like, it's probably not going to be a race winning car, but like top 15, like top 20, top 15, maybe borderline top 10. If you can pull that off, then really, like, I'll be really good for the team and the driver and the experience, and it would really help put a foot forward going on into the future. So, green flag.
Yeah, so my question is, first and foremost, I'm not 100% positive on this, but does RSS Racing have a technical alliance with Haas Factory Team?
I would have to check, but
I'm not
I know they had.
sure.
I know they had one last year with SHR, but I'm not sure if that carried over. Because the way I see this is the reason why the 39 has been as good as he's been over the last, as the 39 team has been as good as they've been, is because they have some of that information from SHR. And that's what the SHR's Xfinity team was really good. I feel like whatever they learned from when Eric Almirola drove the 28 and won at Sonoma a couple of years ago, yes, I know it's an SHR prepared car, but I think that really helped that team a lot because Ryan has been very good. Even on road courses, Ryan has been doing a really good job, and I think something has definitely changed for that organization. So I think there is a technical alliance somewhere with either Haas Factory or hell, maybe a Cup team. I'm not sure. But there's not many Ford teams in the Xfinity Series, so that's why I said Haas Factory. James?
I'm Green Flag. I like Joey Han. I like seeing other guys from other disciplines of motorsport come into NASCAR and take it, a hand at it. And I was cheering for Joey to win Chicago last year, and so it's one of those things. Yeah, I can't hate him. I don't know enough about him to form an opinion, but I like him because he's the main underdog. I hope he does well.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And we like to see underdog moments in this sport, especially if you're a road course ringer or a driver who doesn't win very often. And Joey has won the 24 Hours of Le Mans twice. He's a very well-defined road racer, has a very good road racing background. So I'm really curious to see what he can do in an underfunded car like this. All right. We have finally reached the end of the show. Time for picks. So let's look at it. I won the Cup pick with Ryan Blaney last week. Shocker, right? So we have the Trucks and Cup going to Darlington this weekend. And then we have Xfinity, as I mentioned, going to Portland, which I think is a little ridiculous. But this is unfortunately the last race for Portland, as they will not be returning to the Xfinity Series in 2025. So I will go first. For Trucks, I will take Lane Riggs for the win, and Tyler Ankrum will be my dark horse. I will take Sheldon Creed for the win at Portland. He's been fairly good at Portland over the last couple of years, and I feel like this might be the time where he finally gets a win. Carson Kvapil is my dark horse. Simply for the fact that picking a dark horse was really difficult for Portland. Well, let me rephrase that. The picks for Portland were very hard this year because a lot of the people who were there last year have moved up to Cup, and I don't know. It was kind of hard to really. I was either going to pick Sam Mayer or Sheldon Creed, but I have a feeling one of those two are going to do very well. So, this one's going to be wacky, but I think Sonny could agree with me when I say this. My pick to win the Cup race will be Eric Jones, and I will pick Noah Gragson as my dark horse. The reason why I say Eric Jones is, look at it. Won it in 22, won it in 2019. He's pretty good at Darlington, I'd say. I would not be surprised if he qualified really well.
Yep.
Sonny, what do you got?
All right. So for the Truck Series, I will take for the win Chandler Smith, and my dark horse will be Tanner Gray. In the Xfinity side of things, at Portland, I picked Justin Allgaier for the win, and my dark horse will be Will Brown. And in the Cup Series, I am picking our favorite court hamster, Denny Hamlin. And my dark horse, well, it's not necessarily a dark horse, but for the sake of I already had somebody for the win, I'll put him here. Chase Briscoe, last year's Southern 500 winner, a winner at Darlington Xfinity Series. He has a really good track record. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes home the win.
Yeah, I agree. Briscoe, this is probably arguably one of Briscoe's better tracks, in my opinion, and has been for the last couple of years. So I would not be surprised if he qualifies on pole and has a very strong day. James, who do you got, buddy?
Well, for the Truck Series, my dark horse is Jake Garcia. For the race pick, not Corey Heim. Shocker. Ty Majeski, I think, wins the playoff opener for the Truck Series. Meanwhile, out in Portland, I think I got my dark horse is William Sawalich. He's really turning around recently, and I think he could be one to watch. And obviously, Connor Zilch is my race pick over in Portland. On the Cup side, I got my dark horse, and I think he's going to surprise a lot of people in the playoffs. Hence, why I don't have him being eliminated first round. Austin Dillon. Is this the first time we've had someone be a race win pick and a dark horse pick the same week? I got Chase Briscoe as my race win pick.
Well, I can understand why a lot of people pick Briscoe too. So Austin Dillon, historically not one of his better tracks, but who knows? He might play spoiler. Checker, what do you got?
Guess we're here. Obviously, I'm sure you'll be reading up Chandy's picks last.
I got his.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going for. So let's start off with trucks. For Darlington for trucks, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. I'm gonna pick Corey Heim to win because I just have a weird feeling. I know. I think Corey Heim might get it done, but I say that it's gonna get jinxed, but we'll see. And then Sonny's gonna bury me 6 feet under. Anyways, my dark horse is gonna be Connor Mozak. I'm gonna pick Connor to see how he does. It's random, but you know what? You never know. Xfinity side at Portland, I'm gonna pick Sam Mayer to win at Portland. I just think Mayer is gonna be a very, obviously up there all the time. Road courses kind of Sam's, kind of playground as well. But and then dark horse, I don't know. I picked Daniel Dye. It's random, but you know what? What the fuck? What else do you expect? Anyways, Cup. I'm gonna obviously. I think obviously I'm gonna go William Byron. I think Byron's got the chance to basically plant the flag, to prove that he's ready to go and he's ready to, be that consistent, going into the playoffs. So I think Byron's gonna, win, and I think he's gonna advance to the round of 12. My dark horse is gonna be Carson Hocevar. You actually never know with Carson. I think Carson. I think Carson is going to be, a very, underrated one. You never know what's going to happen with the 77, but I think there is a possibility for maybe a top 10, but we'll see overall. But yeah, that's just me.
All right. Since Cheney is here, but he can't talk, I will go ahead and take his picks for him. For truck, he picks Raja Karuth. Not surprised. Raja's been good on these style of tracks. Dark horse, Tanner Gray. Interesting. It's an interesting one. Xfinity, he picks Sammy Smith for the win, and Carson Quample's a dark horse. Okay, I can see either of those. And for Cup, he picked Denny Hamlin. Wow! The Denny Hamlin hater actually picked Denny Hamlin to win a race? What?
Revelation.
At least it wasn't, Xfinity, dark horse, we won't mention.
And he picked Carson Hocevar as well for his dark horse. So, yeah. Well, on that note, that's going to do it for this episode. Yes, that was a longer episode. Maybe it's because I'm back and I have this magical touch and I like to yap, but that's just me. But as always, we're on to Darlington for Cup and Trucks, and then Portland for Xfinity. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And remember, drink your fucking water, please. You need to hydrate. But on that note, this is AJ signing out.
This is Sonny signing out.
This is Checker sign off and away, and we are racing off to Darlington and Portland. We hope to see you next week for our first playoff topic and discussion. So without further ado, goodbye, everybody.
James signing off. Hope y'all enjoy this weekend's races.
Y'all take it easy. We'll see you next week.